Welcome to the Lapsus Lima podcast. Please support us by signing up for member-exclusive content at lapsuslima.com.
Hello, welcome to the Lapsus Lima podcast. Today we have an interview with Michael Mehaffy. He is one of the faculty members and driving forces behind building the Building Beauty course in Naples. Hello.
Hello.
Well, very good to speak with you. How did you come across this school?
I've studied with Chris Alexander at Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley. I came across pattern language in 1977, in fact, when it came out, and immediately knew that this was how I had been thinking and what I wanted to do in my career. I had just begun to study architecture at that point, and my architecture professor advised me to go study with this wonderful person, Christopher Alexander, which I did, and that began a friendship that continues today. And I've worked with Chris, and I've been very passionate about advancing his ideas, exploring his ideas, and the related ideas that have to do with how we make our built environment a more alive kind of place, a more human kind of place. And so I'm very passionate about that project. And along the lines, I came to meet my good friend Sergio Porta. I met him actually at a conference in London when I was working at the Prince's Foundation, and we began a collaboration, and that was probably 2006 or 7, something like that. And we began a collaboration that has continued today. Sergio invited me to come teach and do research at his university in Strathclyde in Glasgow. And last year, he told me about this course in Naples, and to not simply do theory and lectures and classroom stuff, but to actually get out and build. And that is very much something that Chris Alexander has been a proponent of from the very beginning, that it's not about theories and ideas. Those are means to an end. The end is what we build, the kinds of places that we build, and how good those are, how human and how alive they are. I'm very excited by this project, a major initiative in this world of creating more human and more alive kinds of places.
Now, were you at all involved with Chris's work around the University of Oregon? The reason I ask is because that is a very good example of bringing his ideas into building.
Yes, recently I've taught at the University of Oregon in the architecture program there with my good friend Hayo Nice, and we've been continuing that very project that was started back in the 1970s. And in fact, the university still uses it. We used it to develop the project that became our campus here in Portland, a wonderful complex of 4 historic buildings where we developed a pattern language and really followed that Oregon plan that Chris did so many years ago. You rightly point to a deeper issue here, which is how is our technological system serving us today? And in conventional architecture, the dominant way of doing architecture today, it's mostly to accommodate that system. And I think what Christopher Alexander is doing is asking more fundamental questions about how this system is serving us and how it perhaps needs to be reformed in some fundamental ways if we are going to create human environments, if we are going to be well, if we are going to even perhaps survive as a species. And this is something that has happened throughout history, and it's part of the reason that so many historic environments seem so much more beautiful to us. And it's exactly what Christopher Alexander has been trying to recapture within our modern, 21st century world, not as an anti-technological approach, but actually a more advanced technological approach, because technology is really just technologos, the knowledge of making, how we make our world, how we shape the things around us. And it has to be a very human, personal kind of experience. I'm happy to take email inquiries. I have not only our foundation website, which is www.sustasis.net, sustasis.net.
And all of that is gathered under the BuildingBeauty.net staff page, I believe. They can find that right under your name, correct?
I think that's right, yeah. Those students who are going to go into architecture or building or related fields and want to understand what some of the sort of forefront issues are about how technology is serving us or not serving us, how we maybe need to be reforming it. People who obviously want to take a year or some additional time and get some professional experience, because this is a very hands-on kind of program. Students who want to learn from experiencing real places that have served the test of time. Obviously, Italy is a fabulous sort of laboratory and educational resource, and Naples and that region is absolutely fantastic. And students who want to really think deeply about how to create better designs, better shaping the world in a more satisfying way. I hope, and it's certainly our goal, that when students come away from this program, they will have a much enriched understanding of the design process and the human-centered qualities of it, the life-centered qualities of it.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with us. We look forward to moving along with this. Thanks so much.
Delighted.